We've all felt it, that gnawing sensation that creeps in during the quiet moments when the world seems to slow down and you're left alone with your thoughts. That hollow ache in your chest, a physical manifestation of an emotional void. It's as if your heart is yearning for something just out of reach. The heavy silence in an empty room, where every creak and whisper of the wind seems to amplify the solitude. It's a silence that speaks volumes, echoing the absence of companionship. The longing for connection that whispers in the quiet moments, a gentle reminder of the human need for interaction and understanding. It's a feeling that can be both haunting and comforting, knowing that this desire is shared by many. Loneliness, it turns out, is a universal human experience. It doesn't discriminate. It touches everyone at some point in their lives, regardless of who they are or where they come from. It transcends age, background, and social status. From the elderly person sitting alone on a park bench to the young adult feeling isolated in a bustling cafe, loneliness is a common thread that binds us all. It's a silent epidemic, touching countless lives in a world that seems increasingly connected. Despite the rise of social media and digital communication, many still find themselves feeling more isolated than ever. While often stigmatized, loneliness is not a sign of weakness. It's a natural human response, a signal that something is missing, urging us to seek out the connection we crave. It's a biological signal, a call to action, urging us to seek out the connection we crave. It's our body's way of telling us that we need to reach out to bridge the gap between ourselves and others. Understanding this fundamental aspect of our nature is the first step towards healing and finding belonging. By acknowledging our loneliness, we can take proactive steps to address it, whether through journaling, joining group activities, or simply reaching out to a friend. But what is loneliness exactly? It's more than just being alone. It's a complex emotional state that can affect anyone, regardless of their social situation. It's more than just being alone. It's a feeling that can persist even when surrounded by others, a sense of disconnect that goes beyond physical isolation. Loneliness is a subjective feeling of disconnect. It's the painful awareness that the relationships we have don't quite meet our emotional needs. It's the painful gap between the relationships we have and the relationships we desire. This gap can lead to feelings of sadness, anxiety, and even depression, and its impact, as we're learning, runs far deeper than we ever imagined. Loneliness can affect our mental and physical health, influencing everything from our immune system to our risk of chronic diseases. It's a profound reminder of the importance of human connection in our lives. Loneliness, while experienced emotionally, has deep roots in our biology. Our brains, wired for connection, interpret social isolation as a threat. This triggers a cascade of physiological responses designed to protect us from danger. Think about our ancestors. In their world, being alone often meant being vulnerable to predators or starvation. Their brains evolved to sound the alarm when social bonds were weak, motivating them to seek safety in numbers. Today, while the threats may have changed, the brain's response remains. We're still wired to crave connection. This ancient programming, however, often clashes with the realities of modern life, leaving many feeling lost and alone. When we experience loneliness, our brains release stress hormones like cortisol. These hormones, while helpful in short bursts, create havoc when chronically elevated. Chronic loneliness can lead to inflammation, impacting everything from cardiovascular health to immune function. Studies have even shown that loneliness can alter the structure of our brains. Regions associated with empathy and social understanding may shrink, while areas linked to fear and vigilance may become overactive. This rewiring can make it harder to form and maintain healthy relationships. It can also lead to negative thought patterns and a heightened sensitivity to social cues, creating a vicious cycle that perpetuates feelings of isolation. The impact of loneliness isn't limited to our minds, our bodies feel it too. Chronic loneliness has been linked to a range of health problems, from heart disease and stroke to diabetes and obesity. Loneliness can disrupt sleep, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep. This lack of restorative sleep further weakens the immune system and contributes to inflammation, exacerbating other health issues. The link between loneliness and premature death is becoming increasingly clear. Research suggests that chronic loneliness may be as detrimental to our health as smoking or obesity. These findings underscore the urgent need to address loneliness as a public health concern. Section 5. Beyond nature, social factors and shifting landscapes. While our biology plays a significant role in loneliness, it's not the whole story. Social and cultural factors also contribute to the epidemic of isolation we face today. Rapid urbanization, for example, has led to a decline in traditional community structures. Many people now live far from family and friends, making it harder to maintain close relationships. The rise of social media, while offering some connection, can also fuel feelings of inadequacy and isolation. Curated online personas rarely reflect the messiness of real life, leading to social comparison and feelings of loneliness. Section 6. The digital dilemma: connection versus isolation. The internet is a double-edged sword when it comes to loneliness. It has the power to both connect and isolate us depending on how we use it. On one hand, it provides opportunities for connection and community, especially for those who are geographically isolated or have limited mobility. Video calls, social media, and online forums can bridge the gap, allowing people to maintain relationships and form new ones. Online support groups, for example, can be lifelines for people facing specific challenges. These virtual communities offer a space for sharing experiences, receiving advice, and finding emotional support, which can be incredibly comforting. However, excessive social media use is often linked to increased loneliness. The constant barrage of images and updates can make us feel like we're missing out, even when we're not. Passively scrolling through carefully curated feeds can create a sense of envy and inadequacy. Seeing others' highlight reels can make us feel like our own lives are lacking, leading to feelings of sadness and isolation. It can also displace real-life interactions, further fueling feelings of isolation. When we prioritize our screens over face-to-face conversations, we miss out on the depth and richness of human connection. The key is to use technology mindfully. Being aware of how and when we use our devices can make a significant difference in our emotional well-being. Engaging in meaningful online interactions, prioritizing in-person connections, and setting healthy boundaries with social media can help mitigate its isolating effects. By being intentional with our digital habits, we can harness the power of technology to enhance our lives rather than detract from them. Section 7. Breaking the silence. Strategies for connection. Combating loneliness requires a multifaceted approach that addresses both our internal and external worlds. It starts with acknowledging our feelings of loneliness and understanding that we're not alone in this experience. Reaching out to trusted friends or family members can be a powerful first step. Sharing our feelings of loneliness can be vulnerable, but it's often met with empathy and support. Joining a club, volunteering, or taking a class can provide opportunities to connect with others who share our interests. Even small interactions, like chatting with a barista or neighbor, can help chip away at feelings of isolation. Section 8. Cultivating community. Finding your people. Building a sense of belonging takes time and effort. It requires showing up authentically, being vulnerable, and nurturing relationships. It's about finding our tribe, the people who see us, accept us, and make us feel like we belong. This might involve reconnecting with old friends, joining local groups, or exploring new hobbies and interests. The key is to create opportunities for genuine connection and shared experiences. Remember, building a supportive community is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about showing up consistently, being patient with ourselves, and celebrating small victories along the way. Section 9. A tapestry of belonging, hope, and healing. In this chapter, we explore the profound impact of human connection and the transformative power it holds in our lives. Loneliness, while a painful experience, doesn't have to define us. It can be a catalyst for change, a signal that we need to reach out and connect with others. By understanding its roots and taking proactive steps to cultivate connection, we can rewrite our stories and create a more fulfilling and connected life. Engaging in deep conversations, joining support groups, and spending quality time with friends are just a few ways to start this journey. Remember, we are wired for connection. It's in our DNA. Our very biology encourages us to seek out and maintain relationships. This inherent need for connection is what drives us to form bonds with family, friends, and even strangers. By embracing this fundamental aspect of our nature, by showing up authentically and nurturing meaningful relationships, we can begin to mend the fabric of our lives and weave a tapestry of belonging. Acts of kindness, volunteering, and spending time with loved ones are essential threads in this tapestry. The journey may be challenging at times, but the rewards, a life filled with love, laughter, and a deep sense of belonging, are immeasurable. Each step we take towards connection brings us closer to a life enriched with joy and purpose. So let's embrace the challenge, reach out and start weaving our own tapestry of hope and healing.